Welcome to the tutorial for Sled for PlayStation 1 speedrunner just to beat the game. I basically ended up doing a speed run, not by choice. That's just the way I ended up playing the game. And then I just, it took me a little bit longer because I ended up taking a few more risks since I wanted to make it into a casual speed run. I made it a little bit more dangerous. But this is pretty much how I was playing. I was taking everything on pretty much head on. And there wasn't a lot to it until the last boss is a little bit trickier, but I'll explain that. But for a lot of the enemies, I would just keep them centered and fire at them while picking up missiles at the same time and health. That was my main tactic. Sometimes I would use the walls, but I wasn't using them a lot since I was doing this for speed. But I was pretty much playing the game like this anyway, so it wasn't really that much of a modification. It took me about 46 minutes of attempts, including the final attempt, which is about 6 minutes, as you can see, maybe about 5 minutes and 10 seconds for the actual playthrough, somewhere around there. The reason that I had to keep redoing the game a lot of times was because the final boss is tough. I used save states to practice the last boss for a while, and then I found a technique that was very effective on him, and then I only died once and had to redo the game once after that point. But yeah, you'll see for most of these enemies I'm pretty much going head on with them. But you'll see sometimes it gets down to a slither of health, so it gets very close. So I did die. In previous attempts, I failed a number of times trying to do this. But yeah, basically, I try to keep the enemy kind of centered, and I fire the machine gun and missiles at the same time. And as I'm doing that, I'm picking up items in the arena, such as health and missiles. Because if you run out of missiles, it takes a lot longer when you're just using the machine gun, and then your health will go down very quick. So, you want to make sure you're getting the missiles like while you're shooting the enemies. And that's pretty much my strategy until the very end. So there's not too much to say about the different enemies. Some of them seem to have lower armor and they die faster, but and some of them are definitely more dangerous and can kill you faster. Like this one is a more dangerous enemy to go head on with, but I ended up playing more aggressively in this run and I was able to take him out quickly. But yeah, it was starting to come pretty close. So I almost had to, I would have almost had to retry. Because there's no continues in this game. If you die, you have to start the whole game over. But it's a short game. This enemy seems to have very low armor, but he's, pretty powerful too at the same time. But he seems to die pretty quick. But, use the walls as needed and peek out of the wall and get some shots and some missiles, hopefully. Sometimes you can just peek out from the edge of a wall and shoot a guy to death because sometimes the AI won't respond and the guy will get stuck and you can kind of just shoot him to death. I was able to do that at least on one of the opponents. And you may be able to exploit that with all the opponents to some degree. I'm not sure. I didn't try it a lot. But it's not the fastest method, so for a speed run, I wasn't really going to use that. I was just trying to be as aggressive as I could. But as I said, this is a casual speed run because this was my first time beating the game, so it just happened to be quick. And this is the last round. This boss can be tough. What I found with him is that he doesn't seem to really be able to hit you as long as you strafe in a circle. And strafe in a circle around this center pillar here. And sometimes you'll be able to kill him faster. But see, he's starting to get me here. But for the most part, like this didn't go as smooth as it could have went. But it took me a while to get some more missiles to be able to hit him again. So this part took longer than I wanted it to. But this boss can be very difficult if you try to fight him by moving around the arena normally. So the technique I found was that he has trouble hitting you when you're strafing in a circle. So I would say for the last boss, use that tactic, even if you're not looking to speedrun the game. But yeah, that's about it. It's pretty simple game overall. But I figured I'd add some commentary to explain a little bit of what I was trying to do. And let me know if you have any requests for any other types of playthroughs or videos. And thanks for watching.